Today we start with the 9th verse of Sri Dakshinamurty Stotram. Vishwam pashyati karyakaranataya Swami Sambandhataha Shishacharyataya Tathaiva Pitru Putradyasmana Vedataha Pitru Putradyatmana Vedataha Swapne Jagradiva Jayesha Purusho Maya Paribhramitaha Tasvai Shri Guru Muktaye Shri Dakshinamurty. In the previous stanzas, Shankara has tried to bring this fact into our notice, that everything we see in this world, the entire world and all its beings, they are all infused with the spirit of that one consciousness. It is that one supreme consciousness whom you may call as the self, whom you may call as the Lord or the God. He himself has become all the objects and the world, including the jivas. If so, the question arises naturally. If the disciple and the guru are both Brahman, or both that self only, why should that disciple has to go to the guru to learn all these things? Both are equal, then both should have the same wisdom. And why do you say the son is different from the father? Why should the son obey the father? Why not the father obey the son, as the present day boys ask? When both are the same Brahman, then why this difference? The entire world we are seeing in this form of cause and effect. The father is the cause, the son is the effect. The guru is the cause, the shishya is the effect, who rises to the highest level of consciousness. Or you find that there is a house, there is a master. Master of the house, both should be the same. Why do you call this the house and then you say that he is the possessor of the house? The house and his landlord should be the same. Why this bheda? So, the reason he is going to say, we all see this bheda because he says, Vishwam pashyati. The jiva is looking at this entire world in its multi-forms, as in the form of manifold objects. Why? We are seeing it in the form of cause and effect. Karya karanataya. Karya means the effect, karana means the cause. The father is the cause and the son is the effect. So what sort of a cause and effect? We have got distinct categories. Either the categories of attachment due to our attachment to things, attachment to men. Attachment to things, Swami Sambandhataha. Swam means a property. Swami means the owner. So, you think the cause for this land in coming up nice is because of its owner. So the owner feels, I have a right towards the land. I am the owner. I am its cause. I have purchased it. So when we look at that house and its master, we apply the theory of cause and effect, and we say that this is the property, Swam, and he is the Swami. Swami means the master, the landlord, the one who has the property right. So this is the relationship we apply. Sambandha means the relationship. Similarly, we apply the relationship of Shishyacharyataya. We look at two persons as, oh, he is his disciple and he is his guru. So Shishya and Acharya, that disciple and the guru and the preceptor. Then you see two other persons, the relationship becomes different. Vitriputradyatmana bhedataha. You say, oh, he is his son, he is the father. You see, Vidyaranya is one of the topmost of philosophers who has written a beautiful book. He has written several beautiful books. Out of them, one of them is called Panchadashi. Panchadashi is a very important grantha which is called as a gateway to the final knowledge as propounded in Brahma Sutra. It's called a Prakriya Grantha. Prakriya means the methodology. The methodology of how to reach the Lord, what are all the sadhanas to be done from the Vedantic point of view. They have been delineated beautifully in 15 chapters, so it is called Panchadashi. Vidyaranya was perhaps the founder of that kingdom of Vijayanagaram, Harihara Bukha, in those days that they were called, and Vidyaranya was his name when he became a monk. He got frustrated as a minister because the entire country came into famine and he couldn't do anything for it. He propitiated the goddess Lakshmi and nothing happened. So in sheer disgust, he renounced everything and it became a sage known as Vidyaranya. And he was perhaps one of the topmost pontiffs in the Sringeri Pitha. Even now you find a separate temple for Vidyaranya over there. So, this Vidyaranya says there are two types of srishtis here. God created the world and you created the phenomenal world of relationship. God only created a few trees, a few houses, a few men. Immediately you created a relationship. This tree is mine, that tree is my neighbor's. And this particular person is my brother, that particular person is my enemy. So, this relationship only has brought you into trouble in this samsara. So, samsara means this phenomenal world of relationship which has been created by you and I. This is known as Jiva Srishti. That is known as the Bhagavan Srishti. That Srishti, that creation was done by Bhagavan. He only created them. He never asked you to relate yourself to each other. He only created so many things, it is there. Why should you pay some money for something and say, this house is mine, that house is somebody else's? So it is you who has established the relationship, and that fellow said, no, this actually belongs to my forefather, this fellow has no right to the house, the matter goes into the court, you are in trouble. So all your sorrows and unhappiness start due to this relationship, which you have created. If only you have remained absolutely in your heart without any relationship, there will be no trouble. You will be able to enjoy this world. Lord perhaps created this world for your enjoyment, but on the contrary, we have been misusing it. So why all these Vedas? Vedataha. So you are applying a special law of yours called the cause and effect. He has paid some money, so he is the owner of that property. So like that, you have created all these things. And why? Yesha Purushaha Maya Paribhramitaha. He has not only created a world of relationship and is suffering not only in the waking state, he is equally suffering in the dream state too. In that dream state also he finds that he has got court cases, he is running to the court and he is asking the advocate, kindly do not expedite the case, try to get it postponed. So you are having as many troubles and as many worries and as many anxieties perhaps often enough in your dreams. So the dream world was your creation. So you created the world. So why we are subjected to these miseries in both the worlds? The world in the waking state and the world in the dream state. It is because Swapne Jagradiva Yajesha Purusho, both in Swapna as well as in his Jagrat Avastha and his waking state, Maya Paribhramitaha. The only thing is, this man is completely controlled and activated by what is called a Maya. What is Maya? Maya is the power of the Supreme Consciousness. So it is his play that it creates all these different beings, that different world, and then it has programmed a life for each one of them. Take it. You don't live your life. Your life is being lived. You are 100% a puppet in the hands of that supreme programmer who has already programmed your life into the computer. Including you think that I am taking time to think, I take my decision. So 2 days I thought whether I should go to Bangalore for races or to Ramanasramam. And finally I told my wife, no, we are going to Ramanasramam. You thought you have taken this decision after a lot of deliberation. No, this is also written in the script of the computerized drama that you will take 2 days, you will think this way and that way, and finally you will take this decision, accordingly you are acting. So even this so-called free will is part of the divine will. So it is all because of that we are seeing. Otherwise, in reality, there is absolutely no differentiation. There is nothing but the supreme consciousness. So, who is that one? That man who is being subject to all types of miseries in both the waking state as well as in the sleeping state, due to this Maya, he is nothing but that supreme Dakshinamurty who himself comes as a Guru Murti and then liberates him from the delusion. Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namaidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye. Now in the next one, so far he has taught about the highest knowledge. And not all of us are really eligible for this highest knowledge. Just like the parable of the seeds in the Bible, a farmer, he is throwing the seeds in all the directions. In one place, it immediately comes up. In another place, after about 2 weeks, it is sprouting. In the third place, it is 1 year, it has never sprouted at all. So it depends on the antenna which can grasp it. And so, it requires a very high level to grasp this Dakshinamurti's Putra. It cannot be intellectually grasped. The only way to grasp it, you just surrender yourself to Dakshinamurti. Lord, there are so many words, I don't understand any of the words, but give me that devotion to you, let me have that devotion to this goal that I should attain you for the highest consciousness. Live in that consciousness and hear it with your heart and not with your ears or your intellect. Then we may understand some. and it requires His grace. So when we pray for His grace, we will definitely understand it to the extent we need to understand. We need not become scholars to go and give lectures. It is not for this purpose I read this, not for anything else. This has happened to me, my prarabdha, so I have now this thing. But this is never my aim in life, and I have never talked on this Dakshinamurty Ashtaka until now. So we come to the next one. In the next one, the Shankaracharya knew that all of us may not be able to grasp. So for the lower grade of categories of people who think they understand but they couldn't understand, who feel they should understand but they're unable to understand, they want to come in the spiritual line but they're unable to follow this path, then what will they do? So for their purpose, he comes down, he says, don't worry if you're unable to think of that supreme consciousness who has no form and who is everywhere, you can think of him from the known things. What is known to us? The world. So he is giving us a beautiful upasana, a way of worship from this very world, which is a distraction to us. He makes it a sadhana. He makes it a helpful thing for your practice to attain that highest state. Burambham swanalo nilombara maharnatho Bhurambhamsi analaha anilaha ambaram aharnatha Himamshu pumani Yitya bhatu jara jaratmakamidam Yasyaiva mutyashtakam Nanjat kinchana vidyate vimarshatam Yasmat parasmat vibho Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namayudam Shri Dakshinamurtaye. He says, if you are unable to grasp the subject, then it is the subject which has become the object, the entire world. And this entire world is nothing but the form of that supreme consciousness. So you can't think of the entire world. You can't think of the peacock, you can't think of the fan, you can't think of the light and all the things at the same time. So he has given us some broad categories in which you can think of the world and which can be considered as the primal forms of that supreme consciousness known as the self. What are they? The Panchabhutas. The entire world has been made of these 5 subtle elements. The earth, the air, Prithvi, up, Tejo, Vayuhu, Akasha Bhutani. Prithvi means the earth. Up means the water. Tejaha means the fire. It doesn't mean that physical fire which is in our oven. This means the fire element, the subtle element which has taken this gross form of the fire. When you say earth, it doesn't mean this land, this bhumi. No, it means that subtle element which has become the solid ground. Similarly, air doesn't mean the wind which comes out of the fan. It is that subtle element which is inside all this air which makes it function as air. So that is known as the 5 elements. So he says, Bhuhu. Bhuhu means bhumi. That is the earth. Ambhamsi means the water. Analaha. Anal. Tamil Anal. So that becomes Analaha. Analaha means the fire. Anilaha means the air, the wind. Then Ambaram Akasha. Aharnathaha. Then beyond these 5 elements, he says the sun and the moon. They are also part of the world, part of the universe, and they are also all those resplendent stars, the sun and the moon, they are also the form of the Lord. They are the primal forms. The Lord has taken primarily these 8 forms, so he is called the Ashtamurti. Ashtamurti means the one who has got the 8 primal forms. The forms of the 5 elements like the earth, air, water, etc. And the one who has become the sun and the moon. Aharnatha means the one who is in charge of the day. That means the sun. Then Himamshuhu, the one with the cool rays. That is the moon. Himamshu means, Amshu means the rays. Hima means the ice. That is the coolness. So the one with the cool rays. Then Puman. Puman represents that Atma. That Sakshi Atma, the one who is the witnessing self. So he is also there. The Lord has become all these and the soul too. So don't forget the soul. Here we mean the individual soul, because you have not attained that knowledge that all these individual souls are linked. That holistic approach we have not yet attained. So at this stage of the Upasana, you consider as the Atma, as the self. Itya bhati characharatmakamidam yasyaiva murtyashtakam. So, it is that Lord's 8 forms, Murti Ashtakam. Murti means the form, Ashtakam means the 8-fold form of that Lord. And in that way, Idam Characharatmakam Murtyashtakam. What are those 8 forms? They are in the form of Chara and Achara. The movable, that is the reptiles, the animals, the man, they are all the movables. And Achara, you got the mountains, they remain stationary. So he is the moving and the unmoving things, in other words, the entire world. So, these 8 categories, the entire world can be categorized, and these 8-fold form of the Lord, Abhati, it shines, you are seeing it daily. When you want to go to the unknown, whom you have never seen, whom you do not know, the only way is go by the known. Through the known only you can approach the unknown. That is why in Vishnu Sahasranama, the very first name of the Lord is Vishwam. Don't seek the Lord in Vaikuntha. Don't seek the Lord in Kailasa. He is very much here before you in the form of the entire universe. So his name is Vishwam. How the word Vishwam came? Vishati iti Vishwam Pravesha. Visha Gruha Pravesham. Vishu means to enter. So Vishwam means the one in which the Lord himself is entered as conscious. Everything is conscious. This clock is conscious. What are we talking? Where is the question of it's conscious or unconscious? It is inert. It's not like that. Consciousness is that universal truth. It is present in all. But you find its manifestation here. Electricity is present in the entire big circuit here. Not only in this room, in the entire city of Tiruvannamala. Not only perhaps in Tiruvannamala, in the entire Madras state, in the Tamil Nadu. But then, you are not seeing it at all places, like spark. Then you should see here, you should see here, you should see here. Everywhere you should see. No. It is unmanifest in other places. It is manifest only where there is a light, only where there is a fan. So at some points, it just manifests itself. At other points, it is not manifesting itself. It remains unmanifest. But the consciousness is the same. There is only one consciousness, and that is the only reality. It has entered into both the so-called inert objects as well as these objects. When you were asleep and you saw the dream, You saw 4 dacoits and coming and surrounding you. They were dressed in pants and shirts and holding machine guns. Where from have they come? They have come from you. You have become the dacoits. You not only became the dacoits, you became their shirts. Where from the shirts have come? I have not purchased it from some streets in some shop. So there you became the shirt. And those dacoits have got a pen. You are the pen. The dacoits hold the machine gun. You became the machine gun. It is your thought form which has taken the form of the machine gun. And the .303 ammunition which is inside the machine gun, that is also you. So you, the consciousness, has become outwardly both the inert object as well as the object of Chaitanya. Both are you, and the same thing is applicable in the case of this universe. So, this entire world, consisting of all moving objects and non-moving objects, it can be categorized into the 8 forms, and you can think of the Lord in that form. Don't worry if you can't think of the formless. Here is the form. Think of all those things together. Supposing you are not able to think of them all together. That is why it is perhaps only in our religion we have got this. They have made it easier for you. If I am going to tell you that all the trees are God's, so you bow to every tree, you will get tired. Oh my Lord, when I come here there are thousands of trees, will I be going on doing like that? No. If I say that all the mountains are sacred, you may live in a place where there are hundreds of mountains, you won't be bowing to every mountain, and it will lose its value. Select a mountain, and then you say, Arunachala is a special place where the Siddhas live. It is living. It is a living mountain. You come round it, and if you daily do the pradakshina, you will get your moksha, as Bhagavan is telling. Then, naturally, you come round, and so you are worshipping the earth. Mountain is part of the earth. So you can worship that Bhurambhamsi, then Ambhamsi. If you say all the water, then the water in the vessel, the water in the pot, so if you everything you go on bowing, number one, it looks stupid like, and number two, you won't do it. So they have said, look here, the Kaveri in the south and the Ganges in the north, they have got some special quality. Oh, then I will go there. I would very much like to visit Ganges. I would very much like to visit Kaveri river. So Ambhamsi. You think of the Kaveri river as a mother sitting on a crocodile, you can go into samadhi thinking of her. So thus, then similarly the air. You think of the prana. The prana is a moving force. It is a vital breath. So think of it. So there is one method. Thus, think of the Surya. Do Surya Namaskara to him daily. You can reach the Lord. Thus they have made it easy. Either you can consider him in all his eightfold form, or any one of the form you can take and you can get the same result. And that is why this form of upasana has been given to us in all his compassion by Bhagavad Pada. Now, he is again saying, don't think that is the final one. For the superior category, I have told this for those boys who are not bright. As for the bright boys are concerned, I am giving a different homework. This homework is for them. These are all simple sums. But I am giving you complicated sums because you can do it. So he is giving a more difficult, perhaps. There is nothing difficult. But then, it's all a matter of attitude to it. That's all. The moment you think it is difficult, it will be difficult. It is the very first obstacle. When there could be Ramanas, when there could be Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, when there could be Anandamai Mass, anybody can rise to that level, provided you have that will and provided you put that efforts, that's all. If he could renounce the entire world in a trice in his 16th year. In the 61st year, if I cannot renounce even a pen, whose fault it's it? And then we say it is impossible. There is nothing like impossibility. So, nanyat kinchana vidyate vimarshatam. But the one who has got that power of discriminative wisdom and who knows what is Atman, what is Anatman, which should be completely avoided. Vishayan vishavatyaja. Leave all worldly matters as if it is poison. If some poison is kept, will you go near 2 feet of it? Similarly, we have to leave. One way or other we have to leave. And it has to be practiced. There is no other way. So he says, Vimarshatam, for those people who are able to critically analyze and intellectually analyze, for those people, Anyat Pinchana na vidyate. There is no world, there is no Surya, there is no moon, there is no Jiva, there is nothing else. Yasmat Parasmat Vibho. Other than that Supreme Lord, Vibhu. Vibhu means the one which occupies all the place. Everything is being occupied by him. There is nothing but the Lord everywhere. Everything is his form. So, beyond him, there is nothing which is transcendental. There is nothing which is superior. He alone exists. If only you remain in that form as that supreme consciousness, remain as that supreme consciousness, that is the only way. Who is it that who undertakes both these things? The inferior category of bhakta who takes up to the upasana of these eightfold categories of nature, as also the superior quality of aspirant who takes up to this intellectual analysis and that devotion to that one supreme consciousness, both of them are nothing but that Dakshinamurty, that ultimate consciousness who has come as your Guru Murti, who raises your level of consciousness to that highest level. So to him we prostrate. Now we come to the, you see, the first one is Saguna. Saguna means the God with attributes. The God with attributes, the God whom you consider as Mahavishnu, with chakra and shankha in your hand, his hand, or as the Devi with the pasha and with an ankusha, with all these things and in their hand. This is also just like this Ashtavida. It all comes under the nature only. After all, if you think of the mother with a kirita, all these kirita are all made up of Prithvi, Bhumi only. So as such, this entire Saguna will lead you finally to the Nirguna. Because all people cannot think of the formless straight away, and as such, there is absolutely nothing wrong in going to it through this for people who are not capable of grasping that higher wisdom. Now we come to the, you see, so far from beginning in the first, Shankara Bhagavad tried to prove that this world is all false. It is a myth. In Sanskrit you call it mithya. The same in English is called a myth. Myth and mithya are one and the same. So the entire world is a myth. It has never existed. That is what he thought of proving. What was the opinion of Bhagavan? Bhagavan, did he say whether it is real or unreal? This world. You know, there is a beautiful verse. The third verse in Ulladan Arpadya, the Saddarshana. I don't know the Tamil version of it, but I will read out the Sanskrit version. Bhavantu Saddarshana Sadhanani Parasya Nama Kritibhis Saparyaham Sadvastuni Prata Dadatma Bhavano Before that, there is another one where he says, Satyam Rishava Achididam Jadam Va Dukkham Sukuncheti Muda Vivadaha. Why are you bothered what this world is? Leave it, ignore it, you go ahead. Why would you bother about it? He says whether it is real, whether it is unreal. At night, 12 o'clock, you are walking towards from the town. You fell into a very big pit and the entire thing is so slippery you are unable to get up. So at that time, will you be making research as to who made this big pit? Was it the PNT chairs, or was it the electrical chairs, or was it any particular house who wanted to prepare your marriage pandal? Will you be doing all these research, or will you be thinking of getting out and going home? Your wife will get perturbed and she will begin to phone up everybody in the world. So don't bother about it now. You try to get out of it. Once you get out of it, come back on the next morning to do all your research. You will find there was no pit. There was no pit at all. And what are you going to do the research? The entire thing was only your delusion. You had never fallen into a pit. That is all. This is what is going to happen. That is why he says, Muda Vivadaha. It's a futile argument to say, Satyam, Asatyam, Satyam, Rishava. Is it real? Is it unreal? And is the entire world going to give us only happiness, or whether it is going to give us miseries? Dukkham, Sukham va. So all these things is Muda Vivadaha. You just ignore it, go ahead. That's perhaps the most practical advice. Because these are all meant for the intellectual. Because many of us think that I can't make progress unless I know whether the world is real or not. See, this is an unnecessary question. You should be concerned with only those questions which directly relate to your sadhanas and your going to the Lord. People coming and asking, what is your opinion about Aravindo, sir? Why are you concerned about Aravindo? He may be anything. What are you going to do? See, these are all absolutely unnecessary topics. Somebody used to come and ask me, Swamiji, what sadhana you did? I may not have any done sadhana. You see, if you are having fever, will you come and ask another man who had a fever, what medicine you took? For him, he might have taken penicillin. If you take it, well, you will go into trouble. So you have to go to the doctor. Don't ask somebody else. So these are all the things. Always restrict yourself to the necessary in your doubts. Never go into all these things are all muda vivada. They are all unnecessary and futile arguments because the mind wants variety. It gets bored when it comes to Ramanasram. It comes because of some samskara. Then you get bored. Oh, something, some Upanishads is going on, something is there somehow. And so you come across another chap. You ask him, sir, what is your opinion, sir? Do you think that Aravindo's method is better or Ramana's method is better? These are all only to waste your time, only what you think as to kalam kazhikkiradhukku. Just only to fill up the time you do it because you get bored, but they are not going to take you anywhere spiritually. We should avoid such unnecessary questions. That is why Bhagavan has strictly said that don't bother about reality and reality. But he has provided for those intellectuals for whom it becomes a real obstacle. They are unable to go a step further. For them, these have been given. Now the last one. You know, in all the books of Stotras, the last one is called the Phalashruti. When the entire Vishnu Sahasranama you read, finally it will say, those who don't have children will get children, those who want money, they'll become millionaires. So like that, here also, there is a beautiful phala. What do you get out of hearing it? Why did we spend 3-4 days on unnecessarily hearing it? And is it going to be of use to me? Sarvatmattamiti sputi kritamidam yasmadamultin stave tenascha shramanati adarthamananati jnanacha sankirtanati. Sarvatmattvamaha vibhuti sahitam Syadishwaratvam swataha Siddhye tat punaraktadha parinatam Chaiswaryam avyakatam. As Amush means the way. In this particular stotra which you have read, this Dakshinamurty stotra, what is it that has been told finally? Finally, what is the conclusion to which we have arrived at? Sarvatmatvam sputi kritam idam. Idam sputi kritam. Sputam means clearly, without a single opportunity for any doubt. Doubtless. So sputi kritam idam, very clearly it has been explained that sarvatmatvam. Sarvatmatvam, the holistic approach to the Lord, that the entire universe or anything you can conceive of, anything you have heard, anything you have seen. And in the same thing comes. Instead of the Lord, we call it Narayana. There is a Narayana Sukta where it says, Drishyate Shruyate Piva Antarbhahisyatat Sarvam Kyapya Narayana Sthita. Whatever you have heard, whatever you have done, everywhere it is Narayana. What is Narayana? Narayana means, Nara means the man, Ayana means the dweller inside it. So Narayana means the indweller, that means the Atman. The Atman is called Narayana. That is the meaning of the word Narayana. So in this one we have proved it is a question of Sarvatmatvam. What is Sarvatmatvam? That self alone is, and it is the self of all. Whatever you see, they are all the projections of that one self. It is that one self which has taken all these forms. The forms are false. The reality is that one consciousness. You see, it's a beauty that to this Sarvatmatva stage, the quantum physics had reached as early as in 1932. I'll tell you how. It's a very beautiful thing. Originally we thought the space is there. Of course, to some extent the air is there. Beyond it is all vacuum only. The entire space is all vacuum. It contains nothing. When once you take away the air out of a bottle, what does it contain? You think it is vacuum. It contains nothing that you think. It is all a void. So you thought of space as a void. In that space you found there are so many articles. The mic is there, the clock is there, you are there, I am there, the pillar is there, the shrine is there. So all these things are there. But then they found the physics, the great physicians like Planck and others, they found, now you are sitting still. You think you are sitting still because of your ability to sit, because your nature is inertia. And in the original law of Newton, he has defined inertia as your intrinsic power, which doesn't allow you to move unless some external force pushes you. That is the second law of Newton. And that power was called inertia, the power not to move. So everybody has got inertia. It is not out of your free will. This inertia is not your force. You are not keeping yourself there. It has been proved. There is a holistic approach that all the items in the universe, they affect everybody. And each item, whether it's a clock, whether it's a sheet of paper, whether it's a small dust, it has got a big field of force, something equivalent to an electromagnetic force. So there is a big field. The entire space is full of that energy. Anywhere. So it is not vacuum as you think. It is Purna. It is full of that energy. I am not talking, it is what is told in the quantum physics. I am just telling you. And this is the quantum physics which I knew when I left my college, perhaps 50 years back, more than 50 years back. I don't know since then what are all the various changes. So this inertia is not you, It is the interaction of the various forces of lakhs of things, not only in this earth, even up to that end, the stars, the distant stars, whatever the distant object in the galaxy you can think of, they're all affecting you. They're all the cross currents and the forces of each. In addition, the entire space is completely full of a field. Every item, see, originally they found first, before Einstein, what the other people found was, when you keep a thing, any item, it immediately creates a big field around itself, a field of energy. So as such, the entire space around it is being formed by the object. You don't form the environment is created by you. That is why you have to live in the environment which comes to you. You have created the environment. It is your energy which has created it. The entire space, as they call, it becomes curved and it becomes a field. It becomes a field of a force. But now they find, no, the entire space is a field of big energy, and in various places this energy has solidified. Wherever the energy was intense, it became an object, it became a book, it became a clock, it became a Shantananda, it became one Mr. Natarajan, it became one Mr. Krishnamurti. This is what the Einstein himself found, and he has recorded it also. You see, I will read out in his own words at one place. We may regard matter as being constituted by the regions of space in which the field is extremely intense. There is no place in this new kind of physics, both for field and matter, for the field alone is the only reality which has condensed into matter. In other words, but there is one thing which is missing, the most essential thing the scientists cannot find, only the Vedanta will give. They are thinking of this unified field of force. What sort of force they are thinking of? They are thinking of an electromagnetic force like electricity. What is the difference between the electrical force and the energies in you and in me? What is the difference? What is the difference? Anybody? The difference is, I am a conscious force. I know I exist. I know you all exist. So I am a conscious force. And when I am conscious, I can have kindness, I can have compassion, I can have love, while unconscious things they cannot have.